Hello guys and welcome to another video. So somebody requested another video on Guild Wars. I wasn't too sure of what I can really talk about. There's loads of little things that I could add in, really, but they weren't maybe sufficient enough for a full-on video. But I had a thought about it, and I thought, you know what, I'll share because before when I did the video, it was through screenshots that we had in the past. Now we're actually in the Guild Wars, so we can talk about certain things. So as you see, this is our Guild War map right now, and third time we're facing these guys in a 1v1, so maybe we've got a bit too accustomed with each other. So basically, I just wanted to start with some basic things to to maybe help you, to maybe help you win. I was going to say first things first is the crypt is actually really important. Don't waste all your attacks here. Do save the ones that are strong. However, you typically get more energy than you actually need. That's my thing. So, as you see here, like the crypt is pretty basic in how it works. However, it starts off really weak and gets stronger as you go. So this means that even weaker units are still going to do damage. And the way we are doing this as a guild essentially is doing this. So we're essentially attacking in single units at 5 star. I know the level looks like, oh yeah, that will do a lot. However, I think even weaker units you should be fine with. Even if you're a little bit, 240s or whatever, they still do plenty of points. And you see you get 9, 10, 10, 9, 8, 8, 10, 8, 10, 11. Um, it's worth it for you to do this because you don't waste your energy, and you can, and the max of 20, essentially if you put a full team of all of these guys, you're probably going to get about 14 for 3 energy, right? Well, actually 5 energy if you do a whole team. If you do it in singles, you can imagine you get 8 or 7, let's say, and you times that multiple times. So it is really important to do this to maximize your points. I see people waste full-on teams. Um, it's just like this, for example, is an utter waste. See, 13 points at level 230s. You could by far do a lot better. Obviously, you can use your 8 stars if you really want to, but as you see, like, the hell am I? Is that the enemy? Oh, anyway. Yeah, so you can just use your 5 stars. And this, for example, is a waste. See, as you get 13 with level 230s, one of them is giving you 10, so which means that even if you did one at a time, of not even 10 stars, you would have gotten 20 points in total. This, for example, is only 12. It's smart to just use one at a time. Don't use your 13s. That's just a waste. You see here, they got 13 with an 11 star. They got 8 with a Edward of all things. And here, obviously, you got 6, which, I mean, maybe 217. That's sort of an answer that you won't get too much. But even then, you can imagine that using 2 of him will give you 12, whilst, for example, using 11 stars is giving you, you know, what's the other example? Like here, for example, 13. So you might as well even run these as one at a time, and you'll be fine. So consider this when you're fighting next Guild War. Attack one at a time. It's considerably better than using powered up units, especially if these are viable for Guild War. Like they are actually viable for Guild War, these units, because you can do damage to the enemy and then someone else can finish it off, or they can do damage and you can finish it off. Don't just completely remove the fact that like these units should not just be randomly thrown in. Right. Now, next thing I want to talk about is blocking off. This is something that happens quite often in Guild Wars. It's one of the main strategies. Rather than taking a stronghold, because what really matters is not total dominance. What matters is winning with the most points, and that would be blocking off their strongholds without taking them. Right. And to add to that point is the fact that defenses you get back if they're taken, the units themselves. So, for example, here, taking out these 2 units does mean that they're available to use elsewhere now, right? So, it's one of the ways like this is now viable to use. Obviously, the power may be not sufficient enough. However, they're now available. So if you block off a stronghold, that means all of these defenses, so all these teams here, are no longer able to be used elsewhere. That's one of the key things to remember as well. So here, for example, what we tried, they've retaliated. However, what we tried is that you see, have they pushed in here? So 7, 11, 12, 5, 1, and 2. And they're obviously attempting to probably take 3, or they're just going to hold out for now. What we did is we pushed up this way through the bottom part with the attempt of taking 5, 2, and 3 to block off all of this for them. Now these defenses obviously will still be there, the strongholds will exist, however they'll be cut off and presented in a little grey tower here with a number of however many we cut off. And that's one of the main strategies that you'll see. And to be fair, like the other thing I wanted to talk about actually is waiting for some straight lines, right? And that would be where they take in a straight line, like so, right? Where you can then go ahead and use something like 3, 7, 6, right? 10, 9 to take 12, right? So he sort of whips around. If you take 12, they lose the ability to push with these and get points from these, and now they can't access 3 without taking back this 12 that you took back, as well as obviously um, then pushing out this way. Like, so they have to take that out, take that back, sorry, and then they can maybe close you off, right? But otherwise, this is safe now because now this is protected by this having to fall, as well as all of these potentially if they come from this direction, right? So the ways to play it are really just paying attention to how they go, which is why I said in the last video it's important to wait. It's important to wait and see what happens because sometimes it is just it's a matter of time before they do something like push in a straight line or push through for the entire side. Like they may push exactly like this and even take 6, but if you can then take off their 12, now you're safe and then these are blocked off. Of course, you're not going to be ahead in strongholds because if you haven't taken any on their side, they're still going to be ahead, but you've closed off a push. And I was saying it's important to also do this because you have to pay attention to what they put into those towers. Now, if you're facing a guild and they have one guy or girl that has, a 2 million team in power that you find quite difficult to take down, maybe you need multiple attacks. If they put those defenses in here, so as you see here, 2.6 million, this is one of their stronger teams, right? And all of these are, 3 of these are over 2 million. Now, these teams are really strong. This is a pretty strong team. This is a very strong team. This is not as a strong of a team. Obviously, with levels, yes, but with composition, not so much. But chances are the Gisela is on either the Eric or the Rennie, so they'll probably, be quite hard. So in these situations, pay attention to what they have because maybe then you can actually just close off a part, keep those teams at bay, and then push in. And then when they retaliate, they won't have the strongest teams to put in. Because especially earlier in the game, some of the people with stronger teams don't have that many units. They just have strong units. They got them up to level, to 11 star. They got some levels on them, but maybe they only have 4 teams of really strong units with good compositions, and then they're out. And if you can lock off 3 of them, that means if they retaliate on the other side, they can't actually protect themselves. And the other bonus is if they take back 12, they may not have the defenses to reinforce it again and you can push them out again. These are the things, is paying attention to where things are and sort of how best to keep going. What's the other point I wanted to talk about? Pretty much covers majority of the points I wanted to say, really. It's paying attention to what they have, where they're pushing from, and also waiting. The waiting part is so important because you can save so much heartache. And again, some people are maybe not aware. You can test these battles, right? You can test these battles to see how you would do and how you would fare with your units, and it will give you an idea on sort of like, okay, I lose this battle if I try. But that also means if you're weaker, you can try multiple battles. If we're looking at, for example, is it Retribution? I've not had the best battles this Guild War, don't mind me. But as you see here, this team, right? So 1.9 million, right? So I tested it out. I realized it's a loss. However, then I used 2 worth of units to finish it, right? But I tested to see, and this was I think this particular battle I think was a how to word it. I thought I was practicing, but I wasn't. basically. But I was going to do the same thing anyway because I realized they're so close, and all I had to do is remove the Patras. So I just basically put in this to give off more power, which I probably could have just done with just Darby, to be fair, as long as she could ult. And then this battle here, for example, 1.4 million into 2.1 million, and it's a win, right? It's just testing these battles out is very important. And then this one was just I won the practice and then I lost the actual main battle, which is annoying because the Cardinal actually managed to ult rather than get stunned, which sucks. But that's RNG for you, right? With stuns if you don't get a high enough crit rate on something like Osh. So it's important to also practice. That's one of the main things as well, is practice your battles because it's free. You practice on each one, see what you can beat, because even if there's a power difference, you may just win because of poor compositions, right? And yeah, well, that wraps it up, guys. Hopefully, that gives you a better idea on the Guild War. The main real big takeaways is use the Crypt with one single attacks, and just even if it takes, because some people starting out now only have 511 stars and maybe a 110 or something. Some are even weaker than that. So in that case, just basically you can cheese the Crypt quite a bit by just doing this, right? So you go to your Blessing Temple and you go ahead and go, okay, I've attacked 24 hours ago. Now I have 12 hours left. I reset this. Don't have to do it with gems. You can wait the 24 hours. And I can then go ahead and go in here and go, okay, well, I need more units to attack the Crypt with. Let me put in Baker, right? Now, Baker now is in here, and Baker's a unit I can now use to attack. And he's the level that he's supposed to be, and I'm not, like, taking 3 points because of that. So I go here, here, and now I have Baker. Now, Baker can swing for this, and Baker will get me a good amount of points. And as you see, in the beginning, you don't take damage, right? Basically, they tickle you for 119. Your units will survive, and obviously as further they get, so now it's already on 5 for me at least. Now it's on 7. Now this will be a viable run to use Baker as your unit to attack with. If you can attack once more, it'll be 8. But that's 7 points for 1 energy, and that's something that's gonna work wonders for your guild, especially if you're quite close to the enemy. Because if they're attacking smartly and you're not, you're going to lose because you end up having thousands of points more than they do. Right. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. Send me a message in the comments if there's anything else about Guild War. If I see enough questions that I maybe forgot to answer or things I want to maybe talk about more, I'll make another video. However, as is now, it's pretty safe. I think with what I've made so far to say that I've covered the main bits of it. So hope it helps, and I'll see you guys in the next one.